If you are watching to this video, I know that you have this dream of being fluent in English, of practicing it automatically without searching to the words and how do we say this and that. In order to be fluent in English, you need to know how to think in English. So in this video, I am going to share with you 4 smart ways how to think in English, still until the end of the video, so that you are going to know all of the steps and the smart ways to not miss any of these smart ways. Hi guys, welcome back to another new video. I'm so happy to see you today with this new subject, which is 4 smart ways to know how to think or to learn how to think in English. If you don't know me or this is the first video that you're watching, my name is Ines and welcome. What I do basically in this channel, English for a Better Life, is that I help you to learn English with simple steps and efficient ways. Before starting this video, I wanted to share with you a very interesting application which is called Babel. Maybe you know it or maybe you don't know it yet. Actually, because it is Black Friday, I found for you the perfect promotions. So you have minus 70% of all of the courses. You also have the option to do a live with worldwide teachers, native speakers. So please click in the link and take the offer because it is a very great offer, because it is very important for you to learn English, and I think you know the importance of learning it. So take a look, click in my link below, and you will see all of this great offers. If you remember, I made a video about how to think in English. I made a video before, and let's say that this video is the part 2 of how to think in English. So please, you have to watch that video and then watch this video so that you have all the good informations to complete all about what it is, you know, about thinking in English. The first idea that I've talked about the previous video is to surround yourself in English. All right, so this doesn't mean that you have to you have to travel the world and you have to go to English countries in order to surround yourself in English. One teacher that I watch on YouTube said that in order to say surround yourself with English, say moments in English, like you have your moments to listen or watch or do something enjoyable in English. So speaking about enjoyable, it's really important for anything, not just languages, but anything that we want to, learn in life. We don't necessarily have to be passionate about, but we have to make it as funny and as enjoyable as we can, so that, you can pick up the informations and you can absorb the informations much more easily. So in order to make it funny and easy for you, you can listen to the podcast, listen to songs, you can watch to the films, you can maybe read some stories, or read some articles about your passion. Maybe you're passionate about drawing, so read about drawing, articles about drawing. Maybe you're passionate about cooking, so read articles about cooking, and so on. But for me, it's very important to make it enjoyable, and this is what I do with my students, actually. Once you listen or you watch, please try to repeat repeat the words that you are interested in or the phrases that you listen to. Maybe you listened to an expression that you know, that it is interesting for you and you want to, you know, to repeat it. And you just have to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. I also talked about spaced repetition in my previous video. I will try to make the link right here. Spaced repetition is very important to learn anything. And what it's about is that you learn this expression today, you learn it, you repeat it the next week, you repeat it the next month, and so on. It is not repeated like 20 times in the day, but repeated maybe 20 times in the month. And this is what we call spaced repetition, because it is spaced. So with this method of learning English with enjoyable ways, it will allow you to reduce the stress and activate your vocabulary in your brain. Activate maybe new vocabulary, because when you listen to films, if you actually watch a lot of films or a lot of series, you will notice at a certain moment that it's absolutely the same words and the same expressions that are repeated, you know, over and over. So yeah, this actually will activate your brain to learn new vocabulary in a highly enjoyable. The second idea is only use the words you know. Only use the words you know. So I remember that when I did the first part and the video about thinking in English, I received a lot of comments like, why do we have to use just the words that we know? Because maybe your objective is to learn new words. But let me tell you something. Learning new vocabulary and new words is very good for you if you want to learn new vocabulary, you know, if you want to level up your English. But it is not a great way if you want to think in English and if you want to be fluent. If you want to be fluent, in order to think in English, you have to use only the words that you know. And for instance, if you can't find like a word, you don't know how do we say it in English, try to play around it, you know, which we call paraphrase it. Try to paraphrase it, which means try to search for maybe an expression or a word that means maybe a similar thing to what you want to say. And if you know, if you don't find it, that's okay. Just delete this idea or this word and try to say another word. Try to, you know, to say another idea. When it comes to thinking in English, please use just the words that you know, because if you use new vocabulary, that means that you are not thinking in English anymore. You are translating from Arabic to English or from French to English, which is not a good way. It's a good way to learn new vocabulary, but not a good way to think in English and to learn fluency. So yeah, and this is how I started actually when I started to learn English. I really wanted to focus on my pronunciation and my fluency. So what I was trying to do is to practice a lot. And when I was practicing, sometimes I didn't find a word and I tried to replace it with another expression or another word, or try to find another way, you know, to express what I wanted to say. And by this way, actually, I'm trying to build up little by little. And please watch the previous video about thinking in English, because I talked about a very important point, which is start small and build up, because you have to start small in order to know how to think in English. The third smart way would be write in English. Right? So writing in English is going to give you or allow you to another time activate your brain to think in English. It is very important. Writing and speaking are two different things. You know, actually speaking is something and writing is something else. But try to make it as a habit. Do you remember the last video? To make it a habit? Yes. So you have to make it a habit. To maybe try to write your list of grocery stores in English. Try to write your tasks of your daily routine in English. Maybe you are going to write. You have so much different things to write in English, and this is something that we can't ignore because it's going to level up little by little your level in English. And for me, it is so important because, as I said, it is going to activate your brain to think in English. Maybe sometimes when you are speaking, you can't find the words, but when you are writing and taking your time, you're going to find that word. Fourth and final idea is to be monolingual. Monolingual. What does that mean? Actually, is to think just by one language, because when we learn a language, we intend to translate from Arabic to English. Like, how do we say marhaban in English? We say hello, for instance. How do we say كيف حالك in English? We say how are you? So right here, what you are doing is you are trying to translate from a language to another, which is very huge, which is very it's huge for your brain because you're putting into your brain two languages. It's not so that bad, but it's not really the great way to learn English, for instance. Monolingual is just to learn by one language. And we have what we call monolingual dictionary. So actually, what is the monolingual dictionary? It's a dictionary that have just one language. So for instance, if you are trying to learn English, so you have this monolingual dictionary, and what you are going to find in this dictionary is that you have the word and you have the explanation in English. Which is very good, which is actually going to force you a little bit to think in English and to understand in English. Of course, it's going to be challenging, and of course, you are going to find it a little bit hard in the beginning, especially when you're trying to learn new vocabulary. But I think that within the months, you're going to find a huge difference, and it's going to give you huge rewards in the end. And you are going to find yourself that you build up from a level to another because you're forcing yourself and you are making efforts into thinking in one language. And actually, this idea, it's not me that I'm just saying it. It's a lot of teachers that advise you to do this way because you're going to advance a lot and you're going to learn a lot more than learning with the traditional. So this was the video, guys. I hope that you like it and that this video was beneficial for you. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe into the channel, and share this video with everyone that you feel he needs some advice to learn English, with your friends, your loved ones, or family. And I'm going to say see you soon. Bye.